We are live. I think we're going to have to close that this back here, Lori.
I think actually. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
that's
So
much better. much better. How is everybody doing?
Yay! From Baja still.
Yes. How is the camera? Can everybody hear us? Can if you can hear us, pop that in the chat.
I got a commercial on our live.
What? There's a commercial on the live?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it just went away.
Oh, that's not good.
That's fine.
Gotta love YouTube.
So yeah, we're still in Baja and it's getting hot now.
It is starting to get hot.
Inside of the RV is 92 degrees. So if you see it's a little bit kind of like glossy and everything, it's like it's because of that. It's because it's just warm in here. And as you already know, probably most of you guys, it's always hotter inside the RV than it's outside actually. Unless you have the AC on, of course, but
yes,
naturally it's hotter inside the RV. And we don't have our ACs on because we cannot plug into the power because our surge protector doesn't allow us to plug into the power actually.
Yeah, we'll get into all of our situation as we wait for a few more folks to get on board.
Yeah, of course, but it's like we just sit and wait.
Yeah, we'll just sit and wait. All the usual suspects are here. Hello. Chuck is in the house. Brian, Kevin, Gary, Roshia. So we're gonna get into all of our nightmare here tonight, and I'm gonna miss a few of you guys because obviously if you're not in the chat, I don't see you guys. So.
Our nightmare. You can see the things like what is it? Half glass full, half glass empty. And for me, this at some point was gonna bound to happen, I'm assuming.
Oh, it can happen to anybody and everybody.
Anybody, anywhere. Yeah. And we're in a good spot. We're in a beautiful area with amenities. It's like in Mexico where labor is cheaper. Although sometimes it's not a good thing, but not the cheaper labor. I'm talking about like we're in Mexico, we have to bring everything from the US.
Right.
But anyway, so we're still kind of like we're not struggling per se. We are actually in a good spot to be in.
Hey, everybody. We got some folks from Florida. We got folks from all over. Awesome. We know
Louisiana, nice.
Louisiana. We have California in the house. We have Colorado in the house. Ed and Sandy from the Northeast in the house.
Chris and Brenda Mills. Hey, guys. So many of you guys. Again, I know your faces. It's kind of nice.
Very cool.
Yeah. So
what do we do? So
it's been already a month.
Already a month we've been here. So what was supposed to happen was we were going to leave Los Perlas. We were going to head up into the Southwest, and we were going to spend the summer doing a loop in the Southwest, going up through Utah, Colorado, visiting Kevin and Laura in Durango, and then slowly making our way back down here for next winter. That was kind of the plan in a nutshell. Like that's a quick rendition of that.
Yeah.
And as you guys know, an hour and a half into that, maybe not even that long, maybe an hour.
I feel that it's not even that hour and a half. Even before that, we can see there was things happening to the RV. It's like we didn't know the motor was gonna go out, but the battery kind of like we
knew we were gonna have to replace the
yeah.
coach battery somewhere along the line.
Once we get to La Paz, so our goal was like, okay, when we go through La Paz, because we were not gonna stay here at all, we were just gonna get through it. We just stop in AutoZone, buy a battery, replace it, and just keep going. I mean, just a quick thing. And yep, we just never made it.
As most of you folks know, yep, the motor went out, and you know, there was all kinds of speculation on the videos and things like that, because obviously you're only shooting bits and pieces because it's just hard to document everything. And then sometimes you're not worried about filming something. You're just worried about getting the problem taken care of. So what really happened is we were literally driving 55 miles an hour, and we were in that narrow 2-lane road. We had just come out of El Triunfo, which is the winding area of it, and through the mountains. And we just came up into the flat spot, just getting ready to head into La Paz. We were about 30 to 40 miles outside of La Paz, and the motor just went tick, 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 tick about a dozen times, maybe 2 dozen times, and then went to sleep. That's it.
Yeah. And that
Done.
was, I will say, another lucky break that we got is that if you travel from Los Ferroles to La Paz through the mountains, there is no rest stops, there is no passing sounds, there is
There's no
no
pullovers.
pullover, and it's whiny. So if people have just give up the motor right there, we would have been in trouble.
15 minutes earlier, or actually 30 seconds earlier, it would have been in trouble because we were down inside of a dip.
Yeah, but so again, between all the bad things within the breakup, is like it's kind of like it was good things. Like certain good things happen.
Right. Yeah. For it to be as many good things happen during a bad thing as you could want. When we topped the hill is when the engine quit actually just coming up over a hill. As we come up over the hill, there's this huge pullout that they just don't really have in many spots here. So we were able to get off the road. We had cell reception at that point, so we didn't have to worry about that. We could call a tow truck. I was in a spot where I could do a quick diagnosis and see if it was going to start again, if there was something else going on. So literally what happened is the motor seized. It literally seized. It was not a catastrophic seizure, which normally there is going to be all kinds of noise when something like this happens.
That's what it was weird, because he just kind of like stopped and we just pull over. And I was like, oh, police gonna peer out. We'll be on our way soon. And then when I saw his face, it's like, do I need to call a tow truck? And he's like, I think you have to. Yes. When he said that, for him to call a tow truck, in our marriage, we've been together 18 years. He has never, ever, ever called for road assistance or tow truck. He does everything himself. So for him to do that, he knew it was bad.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, somebody like Skip and Sue everything says, I will be so frustrated. I couldn't stand me. It's like, it is frustrating.
It has been frustrating, and it's gotten more so. So
I think the one is more frustrating him because he can communicate. Again, we're not in a tourist area where people are speaking English or anything. At this point, we're like local Mexico mechanics here. They don't know English. I'm Polish. I'm trying to be translator, but I didn't grow up with also mechanic lingo, even in Spanish. So I'm trying to, as much as I can, translate from the English mechanic or mechanical words to Spanish mechanical words and vice versa. So I'm the person in the middle.
Right. Lori's obviously fluent in Spanish, but not fluent in mechanical Spanish.
Yeah.
And then for me to try to give that to her in English for her to translate is tough. So that's been a little bit tough. But what's really been frustrating is obviously the timeline. In the US, we take all of this stuff for granted, folks. We take it for granted that, well, and I've heard stories that it's really not that fast. Chuck was telling me a story that, it's taken him months to get an engine done for his rig. But we take that stuff for granted in the US, that just stuff is available. And it's just not down here. So just getting in or finding the right spot and getting in took us about a week. We got here on a Friday night, and it was the following Saturday before we got in here to have these guys have a look at it. Once they had a look at it, it was finding a spot to get a motor and getting it here. And that took 3 weeks. And
getting the motor here
took 3 weeks because they were bringing it from the US. And then it gets here and it's the wrong motor. Yeah. That's when I about lost my mind. I was going to release the video today, but I'll probably release it in the next couple of days. I had to edit out a lot of extremely bad language.
A lot of beep, beep happening.
I couldn't even beep it. I was like editing it today. I was kind of laughing because I'm like, there's no sense of editing this.
Everybody was frustrated and annoyed at that point. Even the mechanics. They were like, because they ordered the right thing. They sent the wrong thing. So even they were all frustrated because they also in the morning here we were here in the RV and we started hearing noises, and it's Abraham, that's his name, the main mechanic, and he's already kind of like
looking at stuff
cleaning out. It's like the motor is here. He's so excited about it, and all of a sudden is when they realize it's the wrong motor. It just kind of like, the mood totally changed at that point.
So what happens, folks? This is a Ford V10, and the V10s changed around 2005. They went from a 310 horsepower 2-valve to a 362 horsepower 3 valves. Now, for some of you folks, you're going to not care about any of this stuff, but to explain the situation, why it changed is up until 2005, the motor, and actually it was less than 310 horsepower. Prior to that, it was something else. I think it was 290 or something. But then it got to 310 horsepower, and then around 2005, 2006, the Ford V10 changed a little bit again, went to the 3-valve, and so the motor they sent was pre-2005. And so they knew they had a Ford V10 motor. So when the mechanics here called them and said, hey, do you have a Ford V10? They were like, yeah, absolutely, no problem. That's what they sent.
Well, that's what they sent, but the mechanic sent, there is a label that he showed me on top of the motor where it says the year, the family, where it's from, like all the details. They're right there. He sent that label to the people up north, and they still send the wrong year. They still send the wrong stuff.
Right. Yeah. So it really was the motor company that did wrong. But again, I should have, and I thought of it at the time, I should have had them take a picture of it. And I thought, let these guys do their thing. They've got it handled. They seem to be really confident that everything was going to be good. And I didn't have them send a picture because I thought, I don't want to be, again, for any of you guys are, let's say you're a mechanic or you're an engineer or a plumber or electrician, whatever it is, when someone's standing over your shoulder, go, hey man, did you do this? Hey, have you done this? Hey, what about this? Hey, did you think about, it's annoying as all get out. So I didn't want to be that guy doing that. And unfortunately it wound up being a bad thing. I should have been, hey, I need pictures. Hey, I need photographs. Hey, I need this. And Lori was relaying that stuff to them, like making sure, is it the right motor? Is it a Ford V10? Blah, 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 blah. I honestly didn't know the cutoff date for the 2-valve, 3-valve thing. I didn't know that, and I should have known that, but I didn't. And so I could have given that ahead of time.
Yeah.
And I didn't. So
the question,
I'm taking some responsibility myself.
Do you trust the mechanic there and is not knowledgeable to do this? I mean,
that's any mechanic. Like no matter where you go in the US, unless you know a mechanic personally, what do you do? Like, you don't have a choice. I will say
go ahead.
That when we showed up here, the very first weekend we showed up here, there was a race in Loretto, from Loretto down to here, about a 400, 500 mile race, off-road race. And that was the first weekend we were here. There was a dozen race teams here with their vehicles getting last minute checks and torn apart and put together, and all kinds of stuff being done by the mechanics here and by the owner of this shop here. Yeah. That gave me some confidence. That was like, okay, if all these guys are bringing their race team stuff here, that's a pretty good sign that these guys know their stuff.
There's a few things that I thought they were good things. It's like, first of all, it's like Paul and I, this was a third mechanic we saw. And before even saying the yes or hiring them, we went and looked at the shops, we talked to them, we see what they had around, all that kind of stuff. And the first two mechanics, they were a no-go. They have smaller stuff, they didn't have the space, and the second one was like so nice, like super nice. It's like he was sick like a dog, and he still went out and met us right there on the road. So it's like he was super nice. But when we came to this third shop, it's like Paul saw that they have like this motor just all open. They were actually working on a motor, and that gave Paul a little bit of confidence to see they work on everything.
Yeah, it wasn't just an oil change and brake shop.
Yeah. Also, this mechanic was recommended by some friends in Los Feliz that they know everybody. And when I say everybody, they know everybody. It's one of those families that have been here for generations, so they know a lot of people. And they work with the people here. They recommend this shop. And also, a third thing, there is in Los Feliz another Can Do. Is like Jamie.
Can Do is a racing team.
They have a racing team, and they have everything, and they also work with these people. So there was many signs that this shop knows what they're doing. So that's why we're like, yes, we're gonna go there. And it's a smaller shop. It's not what you will think an RV will come to. Like in the US, I will think like RVs and 18-wheelers. They will go to these massive shops. This is just a small local shop. But since we have been here, they work on anything and everything. I mean, we're talking from tractors to diesel pushers, well, everything. Like RVs, they have like actually working on more RVs before even us.
Diesel dump truck here. They've got a forklift they're working on. They just brought in a school bus that they're working on.
Plus the cars and trucks and everything that they bring here.
And so do we have 100% confidence in them? we don't know until our stuff is done and we're
At
on the
this
road.
point, we have to.
You have to.
Yeah, we have to have the confidence. Somebody was asking about Deb Castell. Question: do you have a sewer hookup there? Well, the people here, but been kind enough, right, to everything. They told us plug into the power. Here's the water and sewage. Basically, you guys know we have a composting toilet, so it's only gray water.
We only have gray.
So Paul was taking buckets basically to the bathroom and dumping them in the toilet. It's what like started to happen. And at some point, it's like we're doing minimum on everything. You know, we're just having shower right now, shower water here. And at this point, it's like Paul created this like hole in the ground on the sand where sips in, and there is gravel and everything, just temporarily. When we told the mechanics like our idea, he's like, don't worry, there's a mechanic shop. It's like there's oil everywhere, there's stuff everywhere. It's like gray water or shower water is the least of your worries here. It's like so yeah, that's how we have managed to be here.
So again, that's one of the great things about the composting toilets. We don't have black water that we have to worry about getting rid of. It's literally
If we had that issue, we will not be here. I think we'll have at this point we have very graciously enough a few friends offer their casitas or guest casitas to us so we can go and stay there, and we will have done that at the end of the day.
We would have had to.
We had to, but we have stuck with RV because Paul also wants to be here, like checking what they're doing to RV when the mower is here, all that kind of stuff. Plus we're working, and plus we're discovering La Paz too. We've been already for 2.5 years in Los Barriles, and this is our chance to be here for a little bit and go to the places that we usually never go because we always La Paz is not a place we really like to come and drive to. Like there's always an issue with the traffic here.
Hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah, so it's our time to be here, and Paul is loving it.
I've never lived in a city before. Well, since I was a kid. I mean, I did when I was like 18 or something like that. I lived in downtown London for a little while, my hometown, but I've never lived in a city where I'm able to walk to everything. And we have the grocery store is 3-4 blocks from here. We just walk over there when we need groceries, and we go once every few days or once a week. We've been going because we can. We don't have to worry about stocking up. There is a not a Costco here. There's a Sam's Club, and that's a couple of miles away, so we can go there. But we can literally go to the grocery store. You saw it in one of the videos, the Chajawi that's around the corner. That's a super nice store. We can go get fresh vegetables every few days or once a week. We have the Malecon is about 3 kilometers away, so it's just over 2 miles, somewhere around in there. Yeah, it's right at 2 miles. It's 3.4 kilometers, so just at 2 miles. And so we've been walking down and doing the Malecon, so that's been really cool.
We've been walking a lot, like every
night. And we're right at a corner, so we've got 4 quadrants that we can go walk, and we walk these different 4 quadrants,
3-mile loops,
about 3-mile loops, and we go walk those at night. And so that's been really cool, and we've been enjoying that. So just living the city life has been really pretty interesting. Not the best situation, but
somebody was saying that is like about Mr. Roboto. I have been so impressed about how you both are rolling with the issues. And I think when you live this lifestyle, you somewhat have to. Obviously, I told Paul, I have my limit. If it starts getting too hot that it's unbearable hot, I'm gone. It's like, I'm not going to tough it out because he's the kind that is like, let's tough it out. I am not that way. I will leave him here. You tough it out, and I will go away with Ozzy because obviously Ozzy goes with me everywhere. But so I think there's still hard limits about it. But it's like when you live this lifestyle, you have to be very flexible about you couldn't stay on the campground you wanted to, or the spot you wanted to, or you have to move on. Some breaks, so now you have to wait for the repair shop to get you in. That happened to us with the gas tank in Las Vegas too. So you have to kind of like roll with the punches. If you're too strict on how everything should go, I think that's it's a hard life to live because everything's unpredictable in RV life. I feel.
Yeah.
It's like,
do I want to put my hands through the wall? Absolutely. I'm a hothead at heart.
He's a more emotional one.
I really want to punch a wall, but it's not. What's it gonna do for me? I mean, I could have yelled at the mechanics because the motor's wrong, but it's really not their fault. Partially theirs, partially mine, partially the other. Like, what are you gonna do? I just find that people that fly off the handle and yell at a waiter because their burger's wrong, or yell at a mechanic because there's something's wrong, or yell at people over small things,
Yeah.
you know, that they forgot to put pickles on their burger or whatever. Those kind of things. Obviously, this is more major than that, but at the same time, I think people wig out about the smallest things when, in the scheme of the world and the scheme of things that are going on in the world, it's really a nothing burger. I mean, it really is.
And it's attitude. It's all about attitude at the end of the day. It's like,
We have a roof over our head. We
Yeah.
have Dr. Pepper. So
I have wine.
Lori's got
I
her
have to
wine.
say, this is my first wine in literally like 2 months.
Yeah, she hasn't had any wine, and this was supposed to be wine for Playa Santa's back north.
I was reserving,
and she's
this.
like, "Well, I guess
It's
might as well break it
It's
open."
Pinot Grigio, so it's white wine. So I thought like in the beach and San Cristobal will be great.
Salute everybody. Hopefully, everyone's got their favorite beverage.
Yeah. Further than Lynn, I know this was Lynn. It's like, by the way, Lori, love the haircut. Thank you so much. That was a last minute thing. It was
Oh
getting
my God,
too long. It was getting where it gets stuck in your pillow and everything. But it's not what I asked for. I asked literally for longer, like probably down here, down there, and just kind of like in an angle. And she kept cutting and cutting and cutting, and already grew right now. So it was shorter than this. It was about here. So, but thank you so much. But yeah, we're at that time of the year that it's hot, so having this extra air on the neck is kind of nice.
Chuck said, let me see, Brenda Bingo. Oh, Brenda Bingo. So Rochia is Brenda Bingo Costal. Awesome. Chuck says, any idea when the other engine is supposed to arrive?
Yeah, and that goes along the line that Imperial RVing said, sorry, just jump on late. Don't know if it was already asked, but how long do you expect until it is finished?
Oh, okay.
It's along the line.
So new engine arrived on last Saturday. And then, well, we actually didn't get it until Monday. But now they had to figure out that one's not right. They reordered a new one that same day, but the guys, they just didn't have it. Here's the other thing.
That year.
I don't know if we're dealing with a rebuild company. Okay. I don't know. We know that we're dealing with a company that does used engines of some sort.
That has been part of the whole frustration with the translation and being able to communicate, because Paul has asked them in several ways
and told them,
and about it's a short block, it's a long block, whatever that means. If you know mechanic terms, for me it's just kind of like this. I just translate.
I said no junkyard motors,
no junkyard, and they're like, oh no junkyard now. And so it was understood that it was no junkyard, not used. It was going to be a long block.
I expected it to be a long block rebuild.
And Paul couldn't believe, it's like, how they're getting it that cheap, because it's cheaper than the US. It's like, how they're getting that cheaper than the US. I don't understand when they're still bringing it all the way from the US. So Paul kept saying that. It's like, something doesn't make sense. I was like, I don't know. I really don't know. But anyway, once the engine got here, the wrong one, Paul got to see it. So,
and all this is the best I can say is it's reconditioned. They pull the whole thing apart. They check the bottom end. They check the top end. They make sure that the bearings and stuff are good. It is not a rebuild. It is basically a checked and reconditioned. They check compression. They check to make sure everything is good. They go through the motor. And that's why I'm going, there's no way you can do a rebuilt motor for under $5,000 installed. And get it from the US. I'm like, it's just impossible.
Well,
now at this point, I told him I wanted.
It's not going to be that. It's going to be more than that.
It's probably going to be more than that at the end of the day.
That.
It's probably going to be 6 or 7. We don't know.
We don't know.
But it is not a full rebuild, which bugs me a little bit. But at this point, I'm just like, I just want to get out of here. And for us to go get a rebuild in the States is going to be $6, $7, $8,000 plus a couple of thousand in shipping, plus just it's all a nightmare. But again, I've heard other nightmares. Chuck is on here tonight. Chuck Hand. He just went through like a 4-month nightmare trying to get his motor done. And so It is what it is. Eventually, we're going to roll out of here. I don't know if we're going to be pedaling. We might just leave the floor open, and we're going to have to Flintstone this son of a bitch out of here. I don't know.
It's like, just run.
Yeah, two of us are going to stick our feet through the floorboards and push.
Lynn says, what in the heck is with guys that want to punch a walls? First thing I said to Fred was, if he ever does that again, he was in a big pickle.
Oh, does it again? Oh, I've got one up above the door here
one above the door here.
That happened fairly recently, that I walked out and punched the wall above the door. So that
we need to work on his emotions.
Yeah.
It's like how to deal with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway.
But anyways, it is what it is. We're in this spot. We hope to be out of here. With all that being said, the new one is supposed to be here within the next week.
No.
2 weeks?
Know that. They said that they already found it. So now it has to go through the reconditioning process. So I don't know how long that takes, really. And then from there, then they were going to expedite it south. So they said, the owner, because he's in California, somewhere close to the border, he was going to drive that one directly to Tijuana himself to put it on the loads just already across the borders. Because other thing has to go through customs, and that takes a long time. So basically, he was going to expedite that part of it. So it will be here sooner. Now, how long does the reconditioning take? I have no idea, because Monday is when all this happened. Already all this week went, and the only update we have, and we have been every day asking for an update. I think we're getting annoying them at this point, but it's like they already found a motor. We just don't know when it's going to be here.
So I'm thinking that we should be out of here by the 4th of July somewhere. Maybe we can do fireworks on the way out of here.
I was thinking at that point, we're going to come back next winter, because he has to renew his residence card. It's like, is it worth it to leave? I don't know.
We're gonna roll north. We're gonna roll out of here.
Mr. Roboto on RV, the USA, they're asking about Ozzy. He was here. There's something about when we turn on the camera where he goes away.
Yeah,
he just
busted
disappeared. Because I gave him a little bit of cheese, knowing that we're gonna be in camera, tried to lure him back towards the camera, and he did eat the cheese and then he left. so yeah, I don't know where he
Kevin
is.
asked how the
good.
Blackberry Dr. Pepper. Well, it was pretty good, dude. I didn't mind it at all. Down here, I think it was called Darkberry. I don't know if it's different stuff or it's Blackberry in the U.S., Darkberry here. I don't know.
Yeah, but you said that it was okay, but it was not Dr. Pepper.
But it's got a hint of a Dr. Pepper taste, but it's basically a blackberry drink with a hint of a Dr. Pepper taste. But it was pretty good. Like, I would drink it if I had it. Are you going back up to Alaska this summer? I am not going back up there.
He had the option. I have to say, he had the option.
I probably could have.
It's just that specific company. It's not a bad company. They treat their employees well, but they really overwork them for what it is. I feel. I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't think it was that bad.
And Paul hate the weather.
I hated the weather.
He'd rather be here in hot and humid than be in Juneau that is rainy.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, definitely would do that. So yeah, Chuck said his motor was 9K not installed. So yeah, if we find it up there, and then to get it shipped down here is at least another 2. So yeah, who knows? At some point in time in the next year, we'll be rolling out of Bajas.
Yeah, I remember. Paul doesn't really show me the videos when he edits them. I watch them on my own later after he posts them. And I was watching our videos. And it's funny because he put it, he thought the whole ordeal was going to take about 3 weeks.
3 weeks to a month.
And I was like, it's going to be at least a month and a half. And so far, if the engine will have been the right one, I will have been right.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda.
Now the new engine has been reordered.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda.
I think it's gonna be more like
we're both wrong.
I think from now I will say another month. I will say from.
I think probably.
I will say another 2 weeks for that engine to ride, and then another weekish for them to install it, because we cannot stop working on anything and everything and work on our stuff. It's like we can't be that way. They were gracious enough that they have a lot of work, and when we arrive, Next day, they started immediately working on our stuff for 2 days.
Yeah, and had the motor out in 2 days.
And they dropped everything, all the cars they had. So, and that was so the time will start going kind of like running ordering the engine.
Once they got the motor, yeah.
Yeah.
Or once we found out what was wrong.
Yeah, exactly. So my point being is like, even when it arrives, let's say 2 weeks expedited, and it's like it's still gonna be another 2 weeks to install it and get it right, and we have to test it too. We literally have to go and drive around probably the peninsula to test it and see if there is any kinks, because they told us it's not gonna be perfect, but we need to work on those kinks once you leave. That's why you cannot just start traveling north immediately. They already warned us that. Because also there's a warranty. They give us a warranty. Anything wrong is like, we'll fix it.
Sure.
Well, we're gonna be north, so the warranty is gonna lapse by the time we go north.
That warranty, it's 50,000 miles or 50 feet, whatever comes first.
No, it's actually a time warranty. It's a 3-month warranty.
Yeah,
but by the time we drive around, I don't know how much we can drive around here to break that motor or whatever it is, and then go north. Yeah, that warranty's gonna go away.
Mr. Roboto, was that the V10? Yeah, it's a V10. So it's the V10 3 valve that was built after 2005. Kevin, can we get a whiteboard calendar countdown to leaving La Paz? And then Chuck says over under. I think that's what we should do. We should start a pool. Somebody start a pool of what the exact date. We'll see if everyone can throw in 10 or 20 bucks, and we'll we'll get a pool going.
It's like Nathan and Tessie are here. Hey guys, like it sounds like their deal is way out of control.
Yep.
It's in control, but it's out of control. Yeah, I don't know how to explain it because things are still going in order, but yeah.
Yeah. Tim from San Diego in the house. Karen's here. Awesome. So, yeah. Oh, by the way, I don't know. I don't see Tom and Faye on here. I don't know Ed and Sandy on here. I need to. We haven't done any announcement as far as the membership stuff goes, because we wanted to do that once we were on the road and get all into that. But before we could even make the announcement, I want to just outright, Randy and Deb, Ed and Sandy, Kevin, Tom and Faye, they have supported us so much during this whole thing, and they were the first to jump into the membership stuff. So I just want to thank them, because it's just been such a huge help. And for those of you, well, nobody knows because I didn't know till a couple of days ago, Kevin's my new boss. So I'm doing work with Kevin now. I'm editing video for Kevin and helping Kevin with some web stuff and things like that. So that's pretty cool. So that's a huge help to us. So grateful to all of you guys from the bottom of our hearts. Grateful to all of you, but those people that we named specifically, because they've just been so huge for us and helping us
without
out.
Even asking.
Without asking, and so unsolicited. It's amazing.
Yes. I need to put the fan in front of us because it's hot. I'll be back.
Yeah, Kevin. So Kevin's gonna work on the do like squares like in the Super Bowl, 2025, 2026, June, July, August. Yeah, that'll be awesome. The fan, turn it a little bit more towards you, hon. Perfect. I don't know if any of you guys have a 12-volt fan for your RV, but that 12-volt fan is just the bomb.
Save our asses so many times.
So another thing that we got here, we talked to a couple of people about the whole Freya, our RV's name is Freya, not wanting us to leave here. So after the engine went out, we got here the very first night. Our steps stopped working, but I got that fixed. It was just some dirt in the controller.
Well, it was also because when we were parked on the street, when they first towed us to the first shop, they said we'll come to the sidewalk
and hit the sidewalk.
And doing that, it really damaged.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
After a couple times, they just stopped working, but we got that working again. The door handle broke off in my hand on our screen door. Got a new door handle in. We've got friends that came down and they brought a new door handle for us.
That was such an annoying thing because we literally were trying to use this little bungee cord. It was so rigged, so bad.
Our 12-volt water pump went out, so we couldn't shower or use the water. We got one of those brought in.
Didn't quite got out. Really didn't go. It went out. It, like,
you would have to turn it off and on constantly.
It will, yeah, it just stopped working after like 20 seconds. So we would do showers, literally. It was Paul will stand outside. I would be in the showers, like on, and he would turn it on, and I would just lather or rinse and
I
just
go off, and then
we'll run out, one or two,
and then off, and then on, and we just took turns doing that. So
I told Paul, he's like, "Is this light giving us a sign?" It's like, hey guys, it's like, I don't know, something. So I felt like it was just too many things going. Starlink.
Our Starlink went out and wouldn't work anymore. If you turned it off, you didn't know when you plugged it back in again if it was going to take a couple of hours or a day to turn back on.
I would say in average it will take 4 to 5 hours to come out if you unplug it. And obviously when we were on the street and everything, we were turning off the inverter
at night,
so things will not be pulling the power. And then when we turn it on again, it will take 4 hours to come out. And that was about also with Starlink. So we will get that fixed.
That has been replaced.
That has been replaced.
So we have the new Gen 3, so that's good. And then what else? Oh, our batteries. So right now with the solar, we're good for the daytime, and we fire up what won't work is any kind of appliance that requires heat. So if we have to use the microwave, or if we have to use the coffee machine, we can't do that without having the generator on. So the batteries will hold all day long with the solar on, and the batteries are fine overnight if we're only watching TV and doing regular stuff, charging cameras and doing that. But if we want to fire up a coffee or want to use the microwave, we have to turn on the generator. So our batteries, after, I guess we put them in early 2018. So this is 2025. So 7 years, pretty good life on the AGM batteries. They've done good for us. But those are toast. We have new batteries waiting for us. We have two new lithium batteries waiting in Palm Springs. I did a deal with a lithium battery company, and we'll get into that in the future.
Kelly and Craig are holding them for us, and they have to leave.
Kelly and Craig are holding them hostage. Yes, that's right. They have to leave, and so
we weren't expecting this much of a delay.
Do we have anybody that lives in Palm Springs or knows somebody that lives in Palm Springs? Yeah.
Because they have to leave early May, and now we're gonna have the issues like to who or where they can leave it, so we can get them when we cross the border, whenever it's that we're there. But it's like RV the USA, so we're already putting a bet about that. We're leaving. Put me down for July 23rd at 4 p.m.
That's awesome.
That's funny. It's like Chuck says, does Kevin work closing his office? I don't know what kind of work he's doing, but...
Well, I had to sign an NDA, so I'm not allowed to discuss that, Chuck. So...
send them to Sacramento, Brian Wright says. But, the idea was not to go to Sacramento.
Yeah.
Although we could take that route, potentially. We could take that route, but...
If we had known that, that Craig and Kelly were going to be leaving Palm Springs and we weren't going to get there in time, we could send them anywhere, but they're already there. The company, they had been waiting for us basically most of the winter. The company's Ocmo batteries. So if you go to Paul and Lorena Sharon or paulandlorena.com/Ocmo, you'll see their batteries. But I really want to do a whole thing on the install of the batteries and test them all out first. I wanted to test them for a month or so before I started talking about them, because I want to make sure, they're Chinese batteries like the majority of the less expensive ones are. And so I wanted to do some testing with them before we get too much into that. But, they had been great working with us all winter. And I said, hey, look, I'm not going to be able to do anything until March, until we get to Palm Springs. And they were like, yeah, that's fine. No problem at all. You let us know when you're leaving and we'll send them to Palm Springs. So the night before we left, I emailed him, hey man, we're leaving for Palm Springs tomorrow. And he's like, fantastic. I'll ship them out tomorrow. And we left and they shipped them.
Yeah.
So they're there. They're there waiting for us. So I appreciate it, Brian. But yeah, they're already sitting there in Palm Springs waiting.
Yeah. I know that this started with the things that were giving up or broke or stuff like that, but little by little, we've been already fixing all that stuff, but yeah.
Getting a little semblance of normalcy back. The battery thing kind of sucks. Now, why aren't we plugged in? The place we're staying says, oh, no problem. You guys can plug in.
There's an outlet right here.
Outlet right outside.
Window.
Go ahead and plug in. I plug in, and our surge protector won't allow the, we have one of the watchdogs. It won't allow the RV to power up because there's an open ground. So again, Mexico, there's a lot of that kind of thing here. And I've tested other lines in their shop, and they're fine, but they're lines that are outside that we can reach with our power.
That's the problem. We're like open ground. This short of one of the good ones, but we cannot move the RV.
Story of my life. Always that short.
So we cannot plug in. Like I said, if it gets too hot, and it is going to get too hot, I'm out of here with Aussie.
I will say that for this time of year, it could be worse. We've had the last couple of weeks, the temps been just playing with the heat, but it's been pretty nice at night. At night, it's been in the 60s.
Mid 80s in the daytime and low 60s at nighttime.
Yeah, so the nights have been really nice.
We're with blankets. We sleep with the window open, so we're with blankets, and it feels amazing. Daytime is when it's mid 80s outside, but inside the RV is lower 90s. So we have to put literally, like right now, the fan straight in our face. So
and we have, again, luckily that 12-volt fan is awesome because it'll run all day long without having to worry about being plugged into 110. And yeah, it's 91 degrees in the coach right now. The hottest we've seen is 95 during the day inside of the coach, which again sucks. But P-Stub, how much money for batteries? The new batteries, these are 280 amp hour lithium. And I don't know, to be honest with you. I'm thinking $449, which is insanely inexpensive because I know that a lot of when we first started looking at batteries, they were $1 a watt or $10 an amp hour. So a 100 amp hour battery was $1,000. This was back in 2018 when we first started looking, and that's why we went to the AGMs. And because we never thought we'd get below 50%, the AGMs work fine. And they've worked fine this entire time. They've been just great.
I have to say, I know a lot of people like a lot of battery power and everything. And it's nice to have unlimited, right? And everything works like a house. But even with what we had, how much is usable? 250?
250 to 300 amp hour usable.
We have, I use my Instapot. I use the air fryer in the daytime. It's like I don't cook on propane at all. We have a propane stove, but I have a induction cooked up on top of it. I only cook on induction. So I do everything I want to do and still plenty. We run the Starlink, watch TV, and that has been plenty enough.
And we never turned on the generator when we were in the U.S.
Now we're going to get double that.
Yeah, we're going to double that.
So I don't know what I'm going to do with that much power.
We're gonna have 560 amp hours of battery with 2 batteries. I'm going to save, I think I calculated around 250 or 280 pounds in just the batteries alone, which is awesome. So look forward to that when that can happen.
Yeah, so that's going to be interesting. It's going to be cool. And we have become became part of the family already here on the shop. Today is the owner's actually birthday, and they rented a place of a lapa with a garden and everything where they're celebrating his birthday, and we're invited to that. So once we're done with the light, we're probably going to head that way. And the family, they have family businesses. They also have a breakfast place a block from here. We already land, and that's grandma basically running that. So she was super nice to us too. They're like, yeah,
they've been really nice, and
we're part of the
super grateful to them. A lot, like I said, we have keys to their shop. Any of the tools that I want to use, they're like, yeah, go ahead.
They literally give us keys to doors and to everything, to put the
to the gates, to the doors,
everything we wanted to.
It's crazy.
And not even the other mechanic has keys of that, and we do.
Yeah, it's so weird. And it's amazing. Like the hospitality of these folks have been absolutely incredible.
It's been nice.
Brian says Battleborn. Yeah, Battleborn's kind of like the go-to, Brian. But again, they're pretty pricey. So yeah, if people have unlimited budgets, then that's the way to go, because you know they're kind of the end all be all in lithium, and their US batteries. Epic is the other one, EPOCH. They're kind of the company I really wanted to do a deal with. They've got a new 460 amp hour battery, a single battery, and I thought that would be awesome. But these guys came around and they've been super nice. So I was like, you know what, I'll give you guys a shot. And they had no a lot of these companies that go, oh, you have to do this many posts and you have to do this, and we require you to go to X number of shows, and we need you to come every time we do an RV show. You guys have to be there.
I'm not gonna say names, but there's this company that everybody knows, and they're like, you have to do all this social media, and they give you how many posts and how many videos and all that kind of stuff. You have to show up to 2 RV rallies, and their give back to you is an affiliate program and 50% on the batteries.
Yeah.
And we were like, what? It's like, that's what everybody's doing.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
And I told these guys, I said, I'm not going to do
I'm
not going to do a sales review video.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that. I said, I'll show people installing them and we'll talk about them. But that's why we went this route. And what's oddly enough, we've had a bunch reaching out to us now. And of course, we can't do anything anyways because we're broke down. But anyways,
Rosha,
that's neither here nor there.
Once you're on the road, do you think you will visit Epic Universe? Eventually, yes. It looks cool.
We definitely want to visit
looks...
Epic Universe.
Yeah, we're into theme parks, as you can tell. Obviously, like, there is a special place for Disney, but it's like we also love the whole Universal thing and the Harry Potter and all stuff. But this Epic Universe, it looks epic. So yeah,
it does look.
It will be cool. But I don't know, when are we gonna be on that side of the world again? I think right now we're looking summer, mountains, cool, like to cool off and everything. So that's what we're looking for. So I don't think we're gonna make it to Florida anytime soon.
Kevin says he has friends in Palm Springs that might be able to hold him for it. That'd be cool, Kev. If you can check with them and find out. Are somebody we know? Is it Eric?
I think you can talk to him later.
Well, I'll talk to him later. Yeah, absolutely. Don and Jean, awesome guys in the house.
Yeah, so that's our life in small worlds. But Paul has been, I don't know, like really liking the ice creams here.
That's a huge plus about where we're staying.
And I already like told him, you know what, Paul? We need to slow down. We need to not do that anymore.
There's like 4 ice cream shops within a few blocks of here. So at night, I'm like, ice cream? We just go out and do a circle. We go out and do our walk.
Literally every single circle has an ice cream shop.
Yeah,
so
no matter which way we go, whether we circle out clockwise, out counterclockwise, no matter which way we go,
Paul,
north, south.
We're burning 300 calories and consuming 1,000, so we need to quit that. So
the best one is if you go out and counterclockwise. There's ice cream shop and Dairy Queen. Oh, and a Little Caesar's Pizza.
All his faves.
All my faves. So
yeah, it's funny because I saw one of the videos you posted about the donuts and the pastries that we bought. That literally, it's the first time we've done it in how long?
Oh, it's a long time, yeah.
Literally,
yeah.
We've
been really trying to stay away from the junk.
And he said that's what he posted it online. Like when I have the cart full of veggies and all that stuff, he doesn't record that.
Nobody wants to see
Nobody wants to see
lettuce.
It's like, oh my God, Paul. Anyway, he's like, so yeah, right now you're current with our life because he is posting basically day to day what's happening. So you're very current with situational stuff.
Mr. Roboto, like influencer, like indentured servants. They kind of some of them, yeah, like people that are required to do specific tasks for you on call at the drop of a hat. But yeah, some of them are that way, and I was just like, I'm not doing that. And I was pretty clear right off the bat with these guys, and so the fact that they just weren't pressured, that there was no pressure at all, was pretty cool. I'm hearing ducks quacking, so I think that's a drinking problem. I don't know. I think maybe.
Can you guys hear the fan? Because that might be it. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not here. Did you step on a duck?
No. You might hear piglets.
Yeah, you might hear piglets. There are piglets out here. So a week ago, they had a goat, a giant pig, like a 400-pound pig,
Huge pig.
a smaller, probably 200-pound mama pig, and 10 piglets were born probably 2 days after we got here.
Only 9 now, but yeah.
Well, there's 9 now, 1 drowned, but poor thing. But this mama pig had 10 piglets. Well, literally the second or third day we were here.
Within the first week we were here, we didn't even know existed. They existed. They had so many cars here parked
that is true.
We'll just see from the family, because of family business and they all live close to each other. It's like you will see the youngsters coming and going. And we're like, okay. It's like they're just checking things
we didn't know what they were doing.
We didn't know they were the ones in charge to feed them. So that's what they were coming, but you will never hear them. I mean, or smell them or anything. It was just nothing. And all of a sudden, one time they commented, "Oh yeah, the pig's back there," and we're like, "What? There's pigs?" So anyway, one of the pigs have babies one night, so they separate them, and they're like, "Oh, these tiny piglets, they're so cute," and they can like run and chase each other like little puppies. They're so cute. But then they brought the sheep, a small sheep.
Sheep. You're right.
Yeah, a sheep.
Oh my God.
Because he was injured, so they brought it here to heal separately from everything else and everybody else. But the little sheep, if you know them, they're social. So he got separated from its flock. So it was day and night, just screaming and screaming and screaming. And I will go once in a while and pet it, and he will come down. I will give him feed him certain things, and he will come down. But he will be crying and crying.
And if he went quiet and we turned on a light, he knew we were up, so it would start screaming as soon as we turned on a light. So we're like, okay, keep the TV low. Don't turn on any lights. Because as soon as he knows we're up, he's going to start screaming at us. So
he did.
That was about a week and a half of that. And then finally they took the sheep out. And then now the big pig, he just got taken out the other day, I think. They're
going to make carnitas with him.
Yeah.
Actually, for tonight's birthday.
Oh, is that right? So for the birthday party tonight, so yeah.
Yeah, so right now it's mama and piglets. They're not going to do anything to them. Actually, they're taking the mama as kind of like a pet pig. So that's how we have it. But the piglets, I think they're going to take them to a farm or something like that. I don't know. But right now they're still too small. I think they're 10 days old, 2 weeks old, something like that. So once they're a little bit older, they're going to take them away to a farm, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we have like a teeny farm here.
Mr. Roboto, happy we're posting regular videos again. You were missed. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I wanted to post more. I don't know. I thought people were going to get bored of stuff going on in Los Barillas. And then now that we're here and I've posted enough about us doing the Malecon and a few other things, I worry about that gets boring too. I've got some stuff coming out about the beaches that are here, both Tecolote on Semana Santa, during Semana Santa, which is Sates Week. And we've got a video coming out again about Balandra, which is just an absolutely stunning beach. So we'll have that coming out. And then we'll have some more stuff about the RV and the motor and things like that as we progress. Obviously, I just want to try and keep it a little bit more interesting. So we have to find out other kind of weird things to do here. I don't know.
Well, I just told Paul, he's like, just give a small update if there's anything to update, and then just let's go and do things. But now, since he's working now, cannot be done every day.
Yeah, Kevin's gonna put me to work, so it's gonna be hard for me to get videos done. I'm gonna blame it on Kevin.
Work it, baby.
Work it. Georgiana in the house from San Antonio. Awesome. Brian, we never get bored. Well, you guys are all amazing. The folks that are here tonight. Oh, we have 104 on right now. That's awesome. Folks that are on here tonight, are kind of our main supporters and viewers, and we love you guys. You guys are always amazing.
I have a few that I have not seen before, if I'm honest with you, but yeah, most of you guys know who you are.
Paul on the wall videos. I can do a Paul on the wall video here.
There's no wall.
There's a wall right behind us.
Like a very tall wall.
It's a very tall wall, and it's got Quaker State written on it, but I could do that. Of course, I might have to fight the dragon for it. I don't know if you guys saw that one short.
It's called Iguana.
It's a dragon looking thing. It's prehistoric looking. It's pretty cool looking.
Do an ice cream review. Paul could
do
it.
Oh, we can do that. We could hit, like, we did 12 ice cream stores in one day.
No.
Yeah, let's
Are
do
you
that.
Crazy.
Yeah, I'm crazy. Let's do something like that. We should do some of those challenges,
My teeth
like the kids do.
My teeth are very sensitive. Like literally, at the end of one scoop of ice cream, my teeth are hurting at that point. So I'm not that into ice cream.
Well, but I will take a hit for the team. You video, and I will try 12 ice cream shops in one day.
I will say my favorite one is in the Malecon. You ask
that
for
place is really good.
waffle cone. They give you only waffle cone. They don't have the other kind, just waffle cones. But just single scoop is $3, like super cheap, like $3, and they give you this massive thing. And they have amazing flavors. Like right now, there's a fruit called mamey, and it's a fruit that is very sweet, and it's not because as a kid I will eat it and your lips will stick. It has some sort of stickiness to it, so my lips will stick. So the ice cream will do that a little bit. So I love it. I don't know, it's kind of a weird thing, but I love it. But yeah, Paul could do that definitely.
Tall Paul on the wall.
Tall Paul on the wall.
Are you a resident now? So I am. I am a temporary resident. When we went north, we weren't sure whether we were going to come back down next winter, and then we thought, well, we have to come back down because I need to flip that into to permanent resident. So
yes. And once he's permanent residency, they give it to him for 10 years. So he doesn't have to worry about that for another 10 years. So, but we have to be here late December, because I think it's early February when it expires, and you have to start the process month and a half before it expires. So we have to be here mid-December at least. That if you know Baja, actually November is the perfect time to come down. It's not hot, it's not cold. The water is still warm enough that you can snorkel. Yeah, so November is the month.
Paul, are you still working out? No, not really, but we've been walking a bunch since we got here. Even more than in Los Brillos. We just didn't because we were kind of on the highway, so we didn't. We'd go walk the beach every now and then, but we'd have to drive down to the beach.
Workout was more like he's kiting.
Kiting is working out. Yeah.
For me, it was my going for a walk
with the dogs,
or just working the yard. Oh my god, gardening is hard. I have to say that's a full workout. It's like just being, especially if you're starting out, that you're bringing all the compost and having to do all the things and mixing, and just kind of like how you call it, the wheelbarrow, and it's a workout, but it's kind of like a nice thing to do too.
Yeah.
But here we have intentionally been
walking
a lot.
We went to meet friends the other day on the Malecon, or actually yesterday. Cheryl brought parts. She brought some parts. Brought a new oil cooler and a brake sensor. And so we met them down on the Malecon, and we walked down there.
That was a 5 mile, I think, round trip walk or something like that.
At least 5 miles, yeah, round trip. So, yeah. Do they have non-dairy ice cream? Some places do. Some places do. Well, and then I guess gelato is non-dairy, but.
Well, then, Fred, Laura, you can do a thing with wine pairing with the ice cream. I don't know if it pairs. I don't know. One is too sweet, and the other one is not. I don't know if it will go together.
Mr. Roboto, you can do an elotes comparison. Ooh. Yes, we can flag down elotes.
See,
vehicles.
I don't have a sweet tooth, so I really don't care about cakes, ice creams, cookies, all that stuff. I don't care about any of that
stuff.
I like the savory stuff. So give me the elotes. That's my weakness.
See, well, we can do that. We'll flag down elotes.
They're everywhere though.
Accosting 12 elotes drivers because they go by on these motorcycles, and we'll have to flag them down and throw a spike strip out, stop them.
There's one beach here that you have to take elote, and there's literally all the vendors passing in front of you right on the beach. We're talking about the ice cream, about the elotes, about all the corn, all that kind of stuff. It's kind of fun.
Karen, she loved when we did the Atlas Obscura stuff. I've been looking at a lot of that lately because I wanted to do some of that when we got up into the U.S. I wanted to do some Atlas Obscura. So, yeah, I love doing that stuff as well.
Oh, Tammy is here.
Tammy! Vic, what's happening?
Nice. So, yeah, what else can we do in La Paz? I told Paul, it's like, maybe not necessarily for you guys, but for people coming to La Paz or traveling in the RV in La Paz, I want to go and do like a small review on the campgrounds here. Now there's more than one campground. There's 2 campgrounds.
Yes, but 2 official campgrounds.
Official, but one of them is like right there on the Malecon. So if you have bicycles, like literally the bicycle pad is right there, and you can go anywhere on that bicycle pad. So So I told Paul we should record the RV campground, so in case people want to come down, so they can see what they can expect. So we're talking about videos like that we can do. But he always gets easily distracted too. So I just need to be on top of that.
I am a focused machine, Lori.
Zero. No.
Kevin's finding that out, being my boss.
I actually have enjoyed some of the shopping videos and everyday life, like the ice cream vendor and showing us Mexican Costco or Sam's. Thank you. Actually, that has been on purpose because I have been harping on Paul because he's like, if it's not fun for him, he doesn't want to record it. If it's a daily life thing, he doesn't want to record it. So I'm the one that is like, show Sam's, Costco, or the grocery store so people can see people here live regular lives. It's not always going to your veggie and fruit stand in the corner somewhere random. There's also your like established stores, like your regular grocery store. So you have like both. You have your small mom and pop, and you have also your bigger stores where you can get all your specialty stuff. So I'm glad you have enjoyed those videos.
Mm-hmm.
More videos of Paul looking for chocolate. Surprisingly enough, he has not been into chocolate.
I just the one video when I was looking for chocolate donuts and stuff. But yeah, I've been trying to avoid that stuff, Kevin. You're not helping. You're not helping. Because yes, I would eat a chocolate bar every day if I could.
I would say we're trying to be good.
We're trying to behave.
I cut on the wine, I cut on that. Try not to buy chips because that's my weakness. Chips. Put a bag of chips in front of me, I will eat it. So Paul is trying not to drink that much soda, no chocolate. It's just that damn ice cream and corn that gets in our way.
Ice cream. Skip and Sue watching the video that we bottomed out crossing the railroad track. That was crazy. That was a unique experience when we drove across the railroad track and the thing flipped up underneath and smashed the gas tank to pieces. That was weird. That was an abrupt stop. That was crazy.
It's a real to say. I have my currency conversion calculator going on the last grocery video. That's always fun. And I think there's one video where Paul got the numbers all weird on his head. So I think you went up in the right numbers at the bottom.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically it's just cut it in half.
And move the decimal place
too. Move the decimal. You take 10 basically, or one number, and that's basically your around how much it is in US dollars.
I will say that like our friends Mark and Lisa up in Alaska, their sister has this thing about Mexico that it's just everybody riding a donkey and everybody lives in a shack made out of cardboard and pallets. And so when we show the really modern buses like that you went to Los Barillas in and that your mom was in, she sees these modern buses and things and her brain can't take the journey that they have modern conveniences down here. And a lot of people commented on that when the grocery store, when we're in Chedraui, it's a beautiful grocery store. I mean, as far as grocery stores go, I mean,
yeah, we have two faves, Chedraui and La Comer.
La Comer, the one in San Jose is really nice. Yeah, that's really nice. But even the new Lay's here, the Lay grocery store. Well, because they smell funny.
They smell like going into a butcher shop. That's how it smells. So that's a turn off for me. So yeah, I don't like that.
But it is, that kind of stuff is pretty cool. And once you make that conversion in your head and you stop trying to convert it, like when you first get down here, you're always converting it. But as soon as you start to go, okay, X number of pesos is inexpensive, this number of pesos is more expensive, and this number of pesos is expensive, then you can start flipping those in your head. Like, everything under 100 pesos is fairly reasonable. It's under $5. Or, if it's over this amount.
If you eat a lot of produce, and Mexico obviously is known for produce, that's why it exports a lot to the US and to the rest of the world. I mean, you cannot get several things if it's not from Mexico, right? So it's fairly cheap here. If you're eating a lot of produce and just a basic something, another staple, it's very cheap everything. It's when you get into, I want this gluten-free or sugar-free or vegan or like your specialty stuff, or people. Like somebody said the other day, like that they have an addiction to candies and their addiction is getting too expensive in Mexico. And somebody responded to him, it's like, start eating Mexican candies.
Right.
Because if you're starting to eat Kit Kat and you're trying to eat like the Snickers and all that kind of stuff, all that is imported. All that stuff is going to be more expensive here. So even on candy, as an example, that's very true. If you buy local, it can be very cheap to live here or very cheap to buy here. Is when you're getting into the specialty stuff that it gets expensive, or the import stuff.
Arkansas is in the house. Hey, Mark. Ice cream is part of my food pyramid. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Charles, pasteleria crawl.
Ooh.
I think more what you're meaning is panaderia. Pasteleria is just cakes. But panaderia is with all the baked goods, all the bakeries. It's like, I'm not a sweet tooth, but there's
I think they're meaning pastries. So pastries.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, panaderia.
Panaderia is pastries? I thought that was breads.
No.
Okay, see, so I've got that backwards too.
Yeah, pasteleria is pastel. It's a cake.
Okay.
Panaderia is where they sell not only the smaller white bread, but they also sell all the pastries.
Oh. So they don't sell pastries at the pasteleria.
No.
Okay. That's crazy.
Oh, we have talked about that many times. There's certain things like library. It's biblioteca in Spanish. But here, libreria, that's not libreria, it's a bookstore. So there's certain words that they're very close English to Spanish, but they mean totally different things.
Yeah. So there's those weird things. We could do some crazy Spanish classes.
Yeah, the bakery in the grocery store was amazing. That's one of the better bakery. And here you will find them on any grocery store. Like, we have a thing, I think Mexico's on the top rank on obesity, no joking. And it's because our carb load food base. We love to eat our breakfast with coffee and a pastry, or dinner with coffee and a pastry. I think it's a very American thing, or other countries thing, not necessarily American, Canadians too. Another country saying that I don't drink coffee after a certain time. Mexico is not that way. Mexico, when you have a friend and you want to go out for a chat, you can go, let's go out for a drink. In Mexico, let's go out for a coffee. Coffee is a social thing. Coffee, we drink it anytime, and we will have it with a pastry.
You're going to have some kind of pastry, donut, or bread or something.
So, yeah. So, anyway, between the tortillas, the bread, and the tamales and burritos and everything, we live a very carb-load society. So, that's why I'm all having people here. So, try not to go into that. We're trying not to go into that.
So, we've got a couple people just coming in that didn't hear the initial conversation. So, when are we getting back on the road? Kevin is right now putting together a pool.
Somebody said July 23rd.
And we're hoping, somebody said July 22nd, I think, or 23rd. Like so we're hoping it's not that late. But realistically, it should be within the next month.
Okay, people, right now put in the comments, where is a date that you think we're going to leave the area?
Oh, no. That is crazy.
Brian,
I'm going to get depressed.
Do you get Amazon where you are? Yes, we can.
Yes.
Now,
yes.
Lately, Amazon has been failing. 2 years ago, it was amazing. You will order something, it will be here within a week to 10 days. So it's not like a 2-day thing like in the US.
There's none of that.
It's a week to 10 days. And that was the most realistic. But lately, there has been something about inventory where you order something and sometimes it takes a month, or sometimes it doesn't even arrive and you have to cancel the order. And sometimes it just arrives in 5 days. So you never know. It's like a hit and miss with Amazon, but it does exist here. It's not as complete as in the US.
Right.
Not as many items in the US. And sometimes when you have the same items, it will be double the price here.
Yeah.
As the US.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So it's crazy sometimes the cost of it. But now Amazon is starting to also import stuff from the US into Mexico. So within the price of Amazon, it will give you your import fees and all that kind of stuff. And even though you're Prime or we're Prime, even though that, they will put an extra charge, like a $6 charge.
Right.
Because if they're importing from the US, they charge a little bit extra.
Yep.
So
Buchanans are in the house. Hey guys, what's happening?
Hey Buchanans, are you still in Arizona? Is the question. Getting warm.
Like, Chuck. I'm liking Chuck. He says May 31st. I like that.
Wow, May 20, June 15, May 31st, June 15.
We're gonna have to show this to the mechanics and just say, okay, guys, here's the deal.
I'm saying July 23rd. Yeah, I think If I'm gonna put my entry there, I will say early June to mid June. That will be my entry. uh,
That is awesome.
Oh,
Brian and Lori heading to Ontario on Monday. Yeah, we tried heading north. Let's see how that works out for you guys. Hopefully it works out better for you guys than it did for us.
Oh, somebody's in Bucerias. That there's on the other side. That's amazing. Never been there. It's like, actually, I would like to go on that side of
They're
the
heading
country.
back there in 3 weeks.
In 3 weeks. Oh, heading back. I would like to
Where's
go there.
Where's Bucerias?
It's on the other side of Cerro Cortez going down.
Oh, okay.
So
we can stand on the beach.
You have to take on the main
we'll wave.
And just go down.
We'll stand over here and wave. Since the earth is flat, we should be able to see each other with binoculars.
Yeah.
Right, Kevin? I don't believe that, folks, by the way. Just putting it out there. It's a joke. Oh, Anthony, it wasn't ready to leave Mexico. Yeah, that's what we've been told by several people, is that the RV didn't want to leave. It was like, no, I don't want to go.
I would say
it was throwing a fit.
There was a conversation here about at some point when, what if we just tow it back to Los Barriles and just leave it like as a casita for a while there, and just do like the whole palapa thing and a patio, and we have a casita, and they just go back north to the U.S. and go to something else. Like, so there was a conversation about that at some point.
And the other conversation is, since I'm pouring 5-gallon gas cans into the back right now so that we keep gas in it for the generator, what if I miss the back area with the gas can and I accidentally pour gas all over the RV and light it on fire? There's also been that conversation. But then we're too close to the neighbor's house, so
that conversation did not go anywhere. He's like, how is Lorena's mother doing in the casita? She's doing good. I will say there's still a lot of lack of storage. We need to be very clever with the storage there. And so she's struggling with that, because she went in Juarez when she was living there. She had a 5-bedroom, downsized to a 3-bedroom, then to a 2-bedroom. And that was her last house, the 2-bedroom. I think it was perfect size for her. And then all of a sudden she comes here to the RV, but the idea was the whole thing is temporary. So she still have a lot of things, but she was like, it's just temporary. Once I'm in the casita, I'll be good. And now she's in the casita, and now all her stuff went with her, and she was like, oh no, I still have too much stuff. So she has been between downsizing even more and just trying to figure out where she needs storage so she can put the right storage, because you don't want to put too many furniture because it will get cluttered pretty quick. So, or feel very small. So you need to put very clever storage in areas so she can store her stuff. But my whole idea with her has been
minimalize.
Yeah, be minimalistic, be like that. I put videos with her and everything, because again, and this goes to a lot of you parents, if you think you're gonna leave things to your children, don't think that way, because like most of the children, we don't want this stuff. So it's like, just downsize your stuff. So yeah, but she's happy. She's happy in the casita. She loves the gardening. She loves, although last night she told me that the cow broke into the property and ate all her tomatoes and ate all the stuff. So she was very bummed about that. We still have to figure out the gate. I mean, we have to leave, and that's, we didn't take care of it, but we still need to figure out the gate. But she's very happy. She loves all the nature around it. The one thing she has not been very successful is at making friends. Los Barriles is such an expat area, like so heavily expat, that if you don't speak English, you're not going to events, you're not going to the place, you're not going to like a lot of the stuff. Like, it's very social, but in English. And all your Mexican people here are ranch people, so they go into their places, the ranch and everything, and they are with family. So they're very tight people. They don't take outsiders very easily. So she has been having a hard time making friends, and that's the one thing that she has been thinking maybe moving out of Los Barriles just because of that. But
maybe coming to La Paz.
Maybe coming to La Paz. People are more open here. There's more things to do and that stuff. So she's happy in the casita, but social life, not very happy about it. So we'll see what happens. She's retiring already in November. So when she's retired, she has open car, whatever she wants to do. Is like, she says she might stay in Los Barriles for the winter with us to hang out, and then go for the summer with to visit my sisters. And But she has pets. That's the other thing about pets, right? You have to take care of them. So as long as the pets are around, also she cannot go too far. Also, but she's loving it.
Cheeseburger with frijoles is Steve and Raina. Hey guys, what's happening?
What? Steve and Raina here. Oh, actually, Steve and Raina, we just met Brighton.
Yeah, do you know Brighton West?
I think
do you remember? Or maybe you guys told us about Brighton West? I don't know.
So, yeah.
Yeah, we met him a couple of times now here.
Brighton and Kat. If you have not seen them, they are YouTubers that they live in La Paz, and he does everything for expat relocating to Mexico. So they're super nice people.
The channel's almost retired in Mexico.
Yes. And they have
tons
of information.
Nice guy and his wife both.
Yes.
Mr. Roboto, nice when we eventually build the adjacent house. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, my mom's in the house. She's cleaning out her trailer.
So for the summer, to move in for the summer, nice. That means snow is out.
Hi, Mommy.
Getting better. Hey, Mary.
But anybody have any questions about what else we've been doing? Any other specific questions about Mexico, maybe? There was something I meant to mention to Kevin, and now I can't remember what it was. All right. I'll remember later. I'm great the day after a disaster.
But Stephen Raina said you can kite across to Buceria.
Yeah. I'll kiteboard across and then say hi. We'll high five on the beach, and then I'll kiteboard back across. I'll have to find out where it is. I've thought about doing that because I thought that would be a really cool major thing. Yeah, I did.
What?
Kite across the Sea of Cortez.
Are you crazy?
Yeah, a little bit. Why not?
Oh my goodness.
Well, somebody's got to do it.
Sure.
I mean, I'll need somebody with a boat maybe to hang out.
You need a team.
Yeah, I just need, if Kevin could get maybe like a little panga with one of the little motor things and just he can go beside me. It'd be fine. A couple of 5-gallon gas cans and we just cruise across the Sea of Cortez.
Russia, are you concerned about the border crossing? The border crossing, well, we're smoking a lot of coffee and salsa, so
yeah, there could be some problem with coffee smuggling across. Yeah, that's true. But we never worry about border crossings.
We never do. Never. They're always, I have to say, it doesn't matter if it's Canada to US or Mexico to the US. It's always a hassle to cross to the US just because of the questioning and the second checkups and that kind of stuff. So it's not, they're doing their job. So that's how we take it.
Yeah.
They're asking 1,000 questions and they pass us to second inspection. So be it. We have nothing to hide.
We have nothing to hide. So sometimes they'll steal. The last time they stole my 2 apples.
I didn't steal them. You cannot cross oranges or apples.
Yeah.
But I never get rid of stuff at the fridge. They're not gonna put you in prison if you have 2 apples. It's so I always cross whatever I have, and whatever they take away, and whatever I know. Living in Paris, I live in Paris for 5 years, something like that. It's like all the people from El Paso, Texas. Well, Tuesdays or Wednesdays, I think Paul had mentioned it. It's fruits and vegetables on sale in all Mexico, so it becomes super cheap. Everybody in El Paso will go to Juarez and just shop all their veggies, fruits and veggies, and cross them across the border. And there's many groceries, many fruits and veggies you can cross, no problem. They're not within the prohibited list. It's like you can cross them no problem. Avocados, there was a tactic they used to do when I was there. They slice half open an avocado, take the pit out, and just wrap it in cling wrap, and that's how you could cross the border with them.
Really?
Yeah. It's like they don't want the pits. They don't want something that the seed can grow over there, but you can cross the avocado for consumption.
Yeah, that's one thing we always tell people is like, you never want to buy stuff on purpose when you're crossing in case they take it. But if you're traveling and you happen to have a fridge full of stuff, don't get rid of it because you read online that they're going to take your lettuce or an apple or whatever. Just cross with it. And if they take it, they take it. And if they don't, they don't. And the 2 apples are the only thing we've ever had them take at the border, crossing between Canada and the US and Canada, US and Mexico and the US. That's the only thing we've ever had them go, yeah, you can't take these. And we were like,
with Aussie, they have only asked me for his papers once. Coming from Canada to the US, that was it. Only once. I always have all his paperwork in hand,
they never ask for it.
So they don't care about it.
They asked for my papers, but They don't ask
Now,
for Aussies.
this year, with all the things happening, the tensions happening politically between nations and everything, something that has changed in Baja is that they are asking more and more for your FMM. That's a tourist visa. If you come to visit Baja, if you're going just across the border, you don't need it. You're going to Tijuana, if you're going to Tecate, Algodones, you don't need it. But if you're going more internal Mexico, you need this tourist visa called FMM. And before you will get it, and nobody will ask you for it. Nobody. And now this year, we have heard from many close people that we know, not a friend of a friend of a friend, no. People that we know that they have asked 2-3 times in different checkpoints for that tourist visa. So I think that's part of just trying to harp into people not being here technically legally, but it's like I think they just find them is what they do at the end of the day.
No politics, Lori.
No, I'm not going politics.
Okay.
I'm just saying what's happening.
Right.
It's just what's happening.
Right.
Mr. Roberto, can I survive on Social Security in Baja?
Easy.
Yes, I would say depending where you live.
Yeah, you don't want to go into Cabo San Lucas.
You could survive in La Paz, no problem whatsoever.
No problem whatsoever.
Cabo San Lucas, San Jose, everything is about dollars over there because of the tourism, and everything is more expensive. Can you make it? Probably, but definitely you're not going to live in the nice areas over there.
But
Los Barriles,
yeah, Los Barriles is a little tough.
Los Barriles is comparable to U.S. prices, if I'm honest with you. Studio apartment in Los Barriles, I've been looking how much they're renting them for. They're renting them almost for $1,000 a studio apartment. So we're talking about a one bedroom, $1,200 to $1,500 a month, and then it goes up from there, up to the houses, beachfront, and everything that they're like a month, like $5,000 to $10,000 a month. So yeah, it's like you can. Los Barriles is a tricky because even locals cannot afford to live in Los Barriles anymore, and they're going to the outskirts now. But it's like Cerritos, you could live there. So I'm talking about the bottom of the peninsula. That is where the nice waters are, where you can go snorkeling, you can see the whales, all that kind of stuff is the bottom peninsula. If you go in the middle of Baja, definitely. Small town Baja,
yeah.
You will be the rich people in town with Social Security, but then there is nothing to do. It's like, and those little towns sometimes can be, I'm not saying all of them, but a few of them, you just have to be careful, might be a little bit sketchy. So,
well, sketchy as far as petty theft.
Yeah, that's what I mean by sketchy. I mean, Baja in itself is safe, as in kind of like things doesn't really happen too often or too much. If there's one death here, it's like, oh my God.
It makes a huge news.
It makes the news because it's like, that doesn't happen. If you Google the same thing about certain cities or any city in the U.S., you will see that there's many. But here one happens and oh my God, it's a big deal. So, but there's a lot. I told Paul there's a lot of petty theft. Like, leave your bicycle out, it might get stolen. Or just kind of like, annoys me. People that go out of the store with still counting bills or trying to store bills on their wallet, like
yeah, you're asking for it.
Flaunting it. It's like, yeah, that's a no thing. So yeah, so that kind of petty theft, they're still here. Actually, a few weeks ago, we were walking back and there's this guy, the Paul and I, we could see he was following us. So we just did the right steps, the right moves, went into a store and everything good. But there's always that, like, always.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know.
Be aware of your surroundings.
Yeah, we don't know if he was after us or not, but we kind of like felt the bad vibe and we're like, we need to do something about it. So you always have to be careful, and that's anywhere. We act the same way in Los Angeles, in San Diego, in certain areas in Texas. It's like, doesn't matter where we are. We act the same way everywhere.
Don Santiago came in late about the motor. So the wrong motor came in, obviously. The new motor has been reordered, and so we're expecting it in a couple of weeks. Kevin is doing a thing on when it's going to come in.
Charles, yeah, it's still as dangerous down there as it has always been.
Yes. What do you mean by that?
Chuck is like, it's always dangerous.
Oh, Chuck.
Nobody come down here.
Yes. Yes.
Things are getting expensive.
Whatever you do, don't come here. Stay away at all costs. I mean, this stuff happens here just like stuff happens there.
See, is this political? Is it tariffs affecting you all in Mexico? No, I mean, not really, because like I said, groceries, for the most part, they're done down here. I mean, a lot of the stuff is done down here, so not.
Well,
nothing,
but the water pump, for example.
Yeah.
The water pump, we tried to get one down here. The 12-volt water pump at the at a marina, because it's the same thing. It's the same water pump that we would use here for fresh water as you use on a boat. Same thing. Went to the marina. It was over $300, like $325. I bought one in the United States on Amazon for $75 and had a friend bring it down. And when it got here, that pump is made in Mexico. So literally they manufacture that pump here in Mexico. It goes to the United States to the company that is manufacturing it, where it is tariffed and the price goes up. And then they turn around and send it back down here where it's, again, upped in money through tariffs and things like that. And then they wind up paying down here $300 in the country. So it's craziness where, yeah, 70 bucks for that same thing in the US. But yeah, I don't want to get into all that stuff.
Yeah. Mark Oliver says, I'd love to see you do another episode that covers you start RVing to present day. Explain your most challenging experiences. I would say we've been lucky, and I think it's lucky because I hear a lot of people having a lot of issues with their RV or RV lifestyle, but we don't. For
this
us,
is the most challenging thing.
This what's happening right now has been the most challenging
since 2016.
Many years we've been in the RV.
Yeah.
So it will be hard to put our most challenging stuff because we're also easygoing. So if a reservation didn't pan out like we thought, or if something, we don't go crazy about it. We're like, let's move on. Let's just solve the problem, move on, and that's it. So
yeah,
we don't have
the only other major thing we had was the gas tank, and that was something that was, it was broken. It was easily solvable.
It was solvable. It was annoying because the railroad never took care of it, and the lawyers in our insurance company, they never wanted to go after him because they said it will just take too long, so it wasn't worth it. So our insurance paid it, and our insurance paid it, but sometimes they raise our rates, right? Because now it's like on us.
Yeah.
So I can't.
But I mean, yeah, as far as challenges, a challenge is different for everybody. And some of the stuff we see online, and I don't want to get into other channels, but the drama behind it all is crazy. Like, finally, we get to have some drama on our channel, Lori. Finally, our motor exploded, and we get to have some drama. We haven't had any before.
You were calling it, and it came to
us. I kept saying we haven't had any drama, and unfortunately, I jinxed us.
Anthony, my mom should go to a campamento. I should tell her to do that. I think she has made a friend there, so I think she's probably going to a campamento. You should come and visit in La Paz. Let's go for a day out in La Paz. You and Noemi,
you and Noemi should come down to La Paz, dude.
Right,
we're gonna be here for a little while.
As everybody says, between late May to mid June. So
yeah, the pool has us May 31st through September 25th.
September now. It's like Brian, right, says, are the 3 vehicles still registered in Florida? Yes.
3.
Well, I'm not sure the Dolly is counted as one. Actually, the Dolly, we had to register in Nevada, but actually Florida doesn't require it to be registered. So it's just a car and the RV. And yes, and if I'm honest with you, we regret not registering in South Dakota. And we might still do that. We might still switch everything to South Dakota. And the difference is, for the most part, it's like everything is the same. But South Dakota, one, you don't have to live there to be a resident there or to have a car there. You can have tags from South Dakota without even being a resident. But you're able to not have insurance in the U.S. So right now, when we're in Mexico right now, we're paying Florida insurance and Mexico insurance, 2 insurances. So we're getting double tagged right there. In South Dakota, we could have no insurance whatsoever and just a Mexico insurance while we're here. So that's a huge difference. So that will be a lot of savings in a yearly basis. We have been right now paying for the sake of paying to have it like the registration up to date, but not because we're ever gonna use the U.S. insurance because we're in Mexico. So they're still in Florida, and the ATV that has never had a registration. It's a Baja ATV, so it's not registered anywhere.
My mom says her friend, they took a full flight of eggs going into Georgia last month. Wait a minute, she was crossing from Kentucky into Georgia, or Tennessee into Georgia, or she was crossing from Ontario into the U.S. and they took her eggs. Of course they did. They're $50 a dozen. Now they're not that much anymore.
Mark Oliver, would you say the prices there are compatible to San Diego, veggies and so forth? I would say cheaper.
Veggies and stuff are cheaper.
Veggies are cheaper, and like I said,
gas is about the same.
If you get the sales, not joking, the head lettuce, the one of the sales with this past Tuesday was the head lettuce was 9.95 pesos, so basically 50 cents American. Kilo of tomatoes, that's usually 5 to 6 tomatoes. They were at 9.99 also, so 50 cents a kilo. So it will be almost 2 pounds or something like that for 50 cents. So there is stuff like that is so much cheaper over here. I think bread and that is very comparable. I would say meats, we don't know. We can tell you because we don't buy meat, but we were talking to a couple yesterday actually that they said meats are they're a lot cheaper down here too.
How's the weather in La Paz? Have you guys been to Balandra and Tecolote? Yes, we have been. Both. We went to Tecolote on Semana Santa on Saturday, and it was crazy chaotic there. And then we went to Balandra, and it was kind of windy, so it wasn't great. We only wound up being there a half hour, maybe 45 minutes, maybe an hour. It was just windy and kind of chilly. But we did Balandra on Thursday, and it was super nice. It was really nice.
Yes.
The experiment worked. Yes.
I would say, well, we're talking about the Motorhome experiment. We have gone away from the Motorhome experiment and just call it TME. And I think we have mentioned this before, but people kept saying, you need to go back to the Motorhome experiment, the Motorhome. But it's not always going to be the Motorhome experiment. It's not always going to be the Motorhome. We want to do other things in our life. And I think TME is very fitting to the many things we can do in life.
The motorboat experiment.
The motorboat experiment, the Mexico experiment. Also, when we went to Florida, it was the Mickey experiment. So it's still TME, but not necessarily the Motorhome.
Hawaii, the Maui experiment.
But if many of you ask yourself why we are not called the Motorhome experiment anymore, and now the word TME, it's because of that.
If too much more of this engine crap happens, it might be the meth experiment. I might have to start doing meth.
It's like, will you put up a video of your launch day?
Launch day.
As in when we leave here?
Oh yeah, well, we'll have a video on that.
Yeah, of course, it will be an exciting day.
We'll have video on the motor going in. Again, that stuff's kind of hard because I need to have you doing it.
What?
Videoing while the motor's going in, so that while I'm helping. If we had the cameras rolling when the motor came out, it would have been epic. But we didn't. Like literally, the motor was coming, like the frame is like this, and the motor was teetering on that frame, and then it went like this, and that hook jumped off, and the motor just went onto the ground.
It was scary. I was inside, so obviously the whole cap is out, so I can see through, and I can see they're working outside. And also I see the motor going out and also just falling, but it was like such a loud, like bang, that my first thing is like, I hope nobody's foot was under that. So I went out running. I didn't hear any screaming, so I kind of like somewhat knew within me that everything was okay. But when I went out, yeah, everybody was quiet. And I'm like, what happened?
The thing hits the ground. The mechanics go dead silent. I had jumped back because I'm, of course, wearing my steel-toed sandals. And we're all looking at each other, and I start to laugh, and I'm like, it's out. And the mechanic's like, see, it's out. I'm like,
hopefully mechanics have a better plan when putting the new motor into the RV. Yes, actually their plan, it's already set. The thing is, like, they didn't want, we're on gravel, so they have, I don't know how you call it, where you actually hang the motor and everything.
Well, it's an engine hoist that they attach to the back of their tow truck.
They didn't want to bring it because they said it was gonna dig and sink into the gravel and dirt and everything. So they did it. It was just a bad motor, so they were just gonna take it out with the tow truck. But the tow truck doesn't have smooth movement.
Doesn't have smooth movement.
It's just kind of like, it's very jerky, and I think that's why the thing jumped, kind of thing.
Who knows?
But anyway,
it was entertaining.
The plan, because yeah, there's also a bar, crossbar. There's a a metal bar that they want to take out to put the new motor in and not having to jump that.
I told him no way.
But Paul is like, no way. It compromises the whole structure of the front of the RV, and we don't want broken windshields or anything like that. So now they're gonna put actually a temporary kind of like platform and everything to bring the engine hoist and be able to just put it in slowly, and the maneuvering will be more easier and all that kind of stuff, more precise. So yes, so there's a plan already in place for that.
Yep.
When the motor shows up, of course. But yeah, it's always been a thing.
Mark, we were just talking about you, dude.
What?
Mark Fitzroy. They just made it.
You need to order your parts from Rock Auto. You will get the parts yesterday.
Not here. Not in Mexico.
Yeah. It's like, it's not only ordering, it's sending them to a shipping address so they can import it here. Then it stays in customs for I don't know how long.
And then we pay 16% on top of the price of that.
Yeah, 16 plus the shipping.
Right.
And that alone is 36% of the value of whatever we're bringing down. So yeah, so at 36% of that.
Yeah. Yeah, again, all that stuff that you have in the US that you take for granted, and then you get here and it's just, to get a bolt is just so aggravated to get something. Now there are other things that for whatever reason, like racing parts, if you have a Can-Am Maverick and stuff down here and you need racing parts, there's all kinds of places to get those kind of things. Now it's horribly expensive.
It's more expensive than mine.
We were just at this.
Is that scenario Paul was saying? There are parts that they're not in Mexico, but they're exported to US and then imported back to New Mexico. So it's double taxation.
We were at this beautiful water sports place we found. We were there yesterday, and just beautiful. They had these great masks. I'm gonna try and get a mask there that they have snorkel mask that you can pull the lenses out of them, and then they can replace them with like basically readers. So you can get 2.5 or 3 or whatever you need and put those back in. I'm going to get them, but they were like a decent snorkel mask is about $60. Like a really good one, $60, $70. This one is 4,000 pesos, so it's about $200.
4,200, so it's $210 for that one.
But
it's a specialty one.
Absolutely gorgeous. But everything in this place was expensive. Now they had some decent prices on GoPros and things like that, but they had a clear bottom paddle board, which I thought was amazing, that you could get. And they had
I really wanted that one.
They have a kayak made out of clear plastic, and this store was amazing, but everything in it was super expensive.
This paddle board I wanted, it was $1,000, and it has the clear on one side, the clear bottom, so you can paddle and see the fishes underneath you. So it will be cool for the ocean where you can see the reefs and the fishes. But yeah, super expensive.
Kevin is right. It's now the mechanic experiment. There you go.
I thought that was very clever.
I like it.
See, Tammy.
I like Tammy. Mark's sitting at the glacier waiting for peeps. So
that view, but I'm sure it's freaking cold. But
yeah, it probably is pretty cold right now.
Yeah. It's like, it would be nice to visit you, Mark. So nice out there.
Harry says, I was kidding, but it sounds good. Yes. Oh, I would love that. I've told Lori there's so many opportunities here for stores and things that people just can't get, but you still, even if you have the store, you have all of these issues with importing and all that kind of stuff here. It's crazy.
Keep Paul from glaciers with cell phone.
Yeah, exactly.
I know.
Exactly.
Yeah, but Mark Fitzroy, it's sunny and 50 bathing suit weather. Yeah, for Juneau people, yes.
For Juneau, yes, absolutely.
It's like.
But the Mendenhall Glacier is absolutely gorgeous, folks. If you ever get a chance to get up to Juneau, I highly recommend doing a tour, and ask for Mark if you're going up this year to Juneau.
I really enjoy Juneau a lot, but in all fairness or unfairness to other people,
you hit the weather.
I hit the weather perfect. Like it just rained like for 4 hours the entire time I was there, and the rest it was just sunny and beautiful.
Yeah, it's just not normal.
It was just, it's what everybody told me. It's like, this is not normal. And when it rained for 4 hours, people would tell us, this is the normal. This is what it is. But I thought it was one of those places that Paul didn't have to do color correcting or anything on videos. You will go there, and on the hikes, everything is green, but like fluorescent green. It's that like vibrant green. It was just so cool and so lush. It was pretty, very pretty over there.
Charles says most stuff in BCS has to ship over from Sinaloa. Yeah, so BCS,
Yes.
short form for Baja California Sewer. That's what everyone down here says, BCS. That's why we say this is like living on an island, because literally the tip of BCS is where the majority of the population lives, except for obviously, well, that's BCS. California is Baja California is Tijuana and all that. There's pretty big population up there. But on the Baja, on the south side, this is the majority of the population here. Between here and San Diego is 1,000 miles of desert. And then you have the mainland is 350 miles, I think 300 miles across by water to cross the Sea of Cortez. And then, of course, the Pacific Ocean on the other side. So it is literally an island down here. And that's why everything is so expensive. To get it here, it either comes in by tractor trailer, 1,000 miles of two-lane, ridiculously hazardous two-lane road, or it comes in on a ferry. And that's why things tend to be a lot more pricey down here. It's just is. It's like if you were living out in Hawaii. You're on an island, and it just takes a lot to get it there.
And we're talking about also natural resources like propane. It's like when we first came down 2.5 years ago, the ferry had broke down or something like that, so you couldn't bring propane. And everybody, including residents, were out of propane. And we were not thinking about it. Obviously, we're not planning for that. And our water heater is like, obviously, with the propane stuff working. So we have to go to the showers at the campground to shower over there because we ran out of propane and there was nobody to fill it up.
If only we had electric water heater too.
After that, Paul bought a hybrid water heater that it works on electric and propane, making sure like if that happened again, we will have both. Ask me if after 2 years that it has been installed.
I'm waiting for the right time.
There's plenty of time right now, Paul.
No, I can't. I've got work to do for Kevin.
See, now that's gonna be the new excuse right there.
Kevin, I'm gonna use that excuse for everything. When Lorraine says, "Hey, can we do?" I gotta help Kevin.
El gas, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of people were saying because they put little music and they put El gas when they're going the propane truck around.
You have to listen carefully because you don't know if it's a propane truck at first or the ice cream man.
Yeah, they have little music, but a lot of the expats were like, we thought it was annoying until now that we need it and we missed the sound.
Yes.
It's like, and it's true.
But the gas truck goes ding, 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 ding. And then it goes, El gas. So you got to wait because you first hear it and you're like, woo, ice cream truck is coming. And then El gas. And you're like, oh, man.
There's so many things like that. Like I told Paul, here in La Paz, there's no dumpsters here. Dumpsters, they don't exist in Mexico.
I think that's a huge business here.
I think that's a very, for me, a little bit of a funny thing when I see people complaining on forums, like traveling forums or expat forums, where they say it's like, I cannot find a dumpster anywhere. It's like, because they don't exist
down here.
It's only the garbage trucks, and you have to put your garbage bags outside in the corner, and they will take them out, and you tip them once in a while. Garbage here is also provided by the city. It's a service, government service. So anyway, this is just to say that here in La Paz, there's like a little bell. They go around, and the first week we were here stranded on the street, I heard the bell and I took off. That's the garbage, and we have garbage ready to go too. We were gonna try to find a place to put it.
Oh, we showed a little bit of that on video.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Remember when you went out?
But I was like, we need to. And Paul was like, how did you know? I was like, the bell. It's like it's a garbage bell.
I thought it was an elotes guy.
Paul is like, no, and yeah, sure enough, we come out and there is a truck coming far away, but it's coming. So yeah, you have to be tuned to the sounds on the street. So if you need propane or you need to put garbage out, you can go out.
Yep, you got to listen for the bells and the dingings and all that kind of stuff, and then you know what's going down.
You can tell that he's late.
Yes. Yeah, we are getting ready to run the ridiculously 2-lane road. You don't want to drive back down there, Mark? Come on now. It is, oh my goodness. So we just had friends roll through here to head north, and they sent us video from just north of Guerrero Negro, which is in Baja, California, which is in the northern part of this peninsula. Oh, and Letty and Robbie, for those of you who might have met them. I know Kevin has met them. Letty and Robbie drove north and sent us video from north of Guerrero Negro, and the road is just insane.
Now, with that being said, they say it's way better than when people came down, that it was worse. They actually have been fixing it little by little this winter.
But they showed just potholes, and then like we're talking about a major highway, like name whatever state you live in, like a major 2-lane road, a major 2-lane highway, and picture the fact that you have to slow down to 10 miles an hour to drive around the potholes. So it's just crazy.
Yeah, just after grocery prices in Alaska, it must be a deal there.
That is true. That is true.
Paul not only told me, it's like I went grocery shopping with him in Juneau, that also everything has to be ferried in.
Yeah, and that's like an island.
In. And it's ridiculous how much things cost there.
It is definitely very much like an island, Juneau. I mean, expensive. It's going to come in by boat, or it's going to come in by airplane, or it's going to...
It's very Hawaii-like. I would say less expensive than Hawaii, but still pretty expensive.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty crazy.
Dave, is it possible for you to go to the States for an engine and bring it down yourself? The funny
we talked about that.
We have a friend, another Chuck, that he offered his truck. He's like, just take my truck, go to the U.S., just buy an engine and bring it down. It's like yourself. And at that point, these guys told us, like, I'll be here between 10 and 12 days. I was like, Chuck, it's not worth it.
It's like, why
let
would
them do the job. They have their vendors. It should be here within 10 to 12 days. It's not worth for us to go all the way to the north in 3 days, try to find it, it'll come down another 3 days. So it's gonna take about the same time. Don't worry about it.
We're like, we'll save ourselves a week if we do that, but we have to drive 2,500 miles to go up and back.
And now,
in retrospect, that's a great idea, Dave.
That was a great idea back then. Now the problem is that this company has already been fully paid. So
yeah, well, been half paid
by the mechanic.
Been fully paid by the mechanic. Yes.
Put over 50% down with the
50%.
mechanic, but the mechanic with that 50 put the order for the motor.
Right.
So they have been fully paid. So now they're fixing their error and send another one. But if we go right now and get another one, these guys are not going to get refunded. They're never going to get that money, and we're never going to get that money. So at this point, we'll just better wait it out for that motor to come in.
Yeah, at this point, it's just kind of hilarious. So why not just embrace the pain, embrace the suck? That's what it is. Like I said, we're crying on the inside, folks. On the inside, it's painful. We are crying. I want to curl up in a ball on the floor and cry.
Right now
we just can't.
Right now I'm good, but then I have my days where I'm all hot and sweaty, and I'm like, this is ridiculous, and then I'm just all pissed off about it, and then it cools down and I get better.
And then nighttime comes, the sun goes away, and you're like, oh, reprieve from the heat. But it is gonna start getting hot here. I think this month is gonna be brutal.
Like I said, soon I think I'm gonna have to live here for somewhere else. Mark says $4 avocados.
That's each. He's talking each. How much did you pay for the bag the other day?
Here's the thing. Here, your normal price of avocados here, it's about 100 pesos a kilo. So $5 for 4 avocados, medium-sized avocados. So that's $250, $125 for each avocado. Not bad. But there's sometimes they run sales, and there's when you have to grab your avocados for everything you want. And they did that last week because of the Semana Santa thing, and it was a bag of 5 small avocados for 26 pesos. That's $1.20 for 6 avocados.
Yeah.
So they were small. Don't get me wrong, they were small, but still, that's what I'm saying. You cannot beat the cheeses on Wednesdays or fruits and vegetables here in Mexico as a whole. Mm. Yes.
Yeah.
You're both coping admirably. Thank you, Gary. Kevin is like, yes. It's like the only thing we can do.
I know, but we need to get better at not. We need to be kicking and screaming.
I need to start watching the Housewives series.
Yeah, like
so I can
Housewives of Atlanta or something.
And I can start screaming and yelling, crying,
flipping tables over,
crying with the makeup here.
Yeah, what's wrong with us? Like, if we want to have a popular YouTube
channel,
throw my
water on Paul's face.
Yeah, or wine or whatever. Yeah, we need to get better at that. It will
hurt your eyes.
It might hurt the water.
I need to get
I don't know. you know, sometimes I feel like we're on candid camera this
Yeah.
last
When
month.
everything started breaking, I think Paul and I, we were like, what the hell? That's
Yeah.
exactly what we said, but it's like, what is happening? We were hitting a point that we're like, this is not funny anymore. It was funny until it wasn't funny.
The day I went outside and I pulled the handle of the screen door and that thing broke off in my hand, I was like, this is just what is going on? I'm like looking for cameras. I'm like, is this like, what's the show that the Truman Show? It's like
Everybody's watching. Yeah.
everyone's watching
For
every day
reaction.
for reactions and stuff. I'm like, what is going on? It's just crazy, but like you said, it is what it is. All right, gang, we're coming in. We're almost 2 hours. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, I leaned in and the camera focused on me.
What's Spanish for Karen? Why is the question?
Spanish for Karen, so that we can become more Karen.
I was like, yeah, I don't think there's a Spanish version of Karen. I think that's a very stupid. I just feel bad for the Karens I know because I know super nice Karen. I just feel bad for them.
Brian, can you talk about membership? So I hate that stuff. So
stop it.
The membership is like a way to support creators and have a more intimate inside information. So we're going to start posting more in the membership, like a little bit more behind the scenes kind of stuff. So if you can't be watching on TV. If you're watching on a PC or you're watching on your phone, there's a join button underneath, and if you click on that join button, it'll tell you more about the program, and it goes anywhere from, I think, $5 a month up to, there's stuff up to $100 a month, and that gives you various access and levels to various things like early access to videos, newsletters, or special other things. We do have our newsletter as well. We have a couple hundred people in our newsletter. That's at paulandlorena.com, and then you can find on there to sign up for our newsletter. And we're doing a monthly newsletter. This is, I think, going to be, I think it's our 3rd month for our newsletter, and that's just a little bit more of what's going on, and we talk about some cool things that we've seen along the way, and talk about maybe the best boondocking spots or different products that we like and things like that in the newsletter. And of course, the newsletter is going to have more about what we've got going on here, a little bit about that. I'm going to be writing about that stuff. So that's the membership. And as you can see, Georgiana just joined. Thank you, Georgiana. Amazing. But it's just, it's just a way for you to have access. And
is to start creating a more tighter community, because the one thing we have noticed all these years of YouTubing, we never really even put that much effort, but to just post videos and that's about it. But even just with that, it's like we know a lot of your names, we know a lot even of your personalities without even knowing you. So it's like even by why you write. So it's about creating that community, know each other, help each other, talk to each other, all that kind of stuff. So that's the whole goal about this too.
Tom Waters is in the house. Woohoo! Tom and Faye, what's happening? We talked about you guys earlier, so now you're not going to know what we said. You're going to have to go back and watch the video after it's up.
No, but we thank you, Tom and Faye.
Yes, you guys, Tom and Faye, will make me cry if I talk about them, but they have been absolute amazing, and we love you guys so much. You have no idea. So super grateful about you guys.
Yes. So yeah. We're still gonna make a video about the membership. We were, like Paul said before, we were thinking about doing it like 2 months from now, basically. So we were gonna start traveling, posting videos, and then bring the membership. But I think there is no better time than now.
We could really use the support.
So it's like,
for sure.
I think we're gonna do the membership video very soon. We still have not done it. We did a welcome to the membership.
We did a welcome thing, but
we have not done.
We haven't talked about it really.
So we will. Yeah. Anyway.
Kevin says the membership video is hilarious.
Is your daughter still RVing? Just part-time, just as a leisure thing to do. She has an RV, 28-footer trailer.
Yes.
Travel trailer. And they just use it for vacation or the odd weekend here or there, stuff like that.
And we were going to meet them this summer in Colorado, but I'm assuming that she's probably already knowing that is not going to happen.
Our plans, now you can know our plans for the summer, because probably they're not going to happen anymore, but our plan for the summer was to go to Colorado. Well, Utah. We were gonna be May in Utah, the Moab area, in hike. That I guess is one of the best times of the year to be there. And then after that, we're gonna from North
like
Colorado,
June, July, Western Colorado.
Then come down Colorado. We're gonna meet Allie over there in Colorado, and then come down visit Kevin and Laura
and Durango.
And Ed and Doreen. I think Ed and Doreen they're gonna start in again. I'm not quite sure, but we're gonna visit them and then just come back south again. But I don't think by the time we leave here, that you're based on your bets. Sounds like between June and July. It's gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be worth it to just drive straight north to Colorado and just hang out just for a little bit to come back south. So I don't think that's gonna happen anymore. But we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I noticed nobody in here is one of those people that wanted to buy us a new motorhome.
Oh, Paul was getting annoyed.
I was getting so annoyed by that.
Comments are like, well, it's like. Just basically live right over there and just come back home and buy a new RV.
If you were one of those people, I'm sorry, but people were just so dismissive of like, why don't you just go back to the US and buy a new RV? I'm like, what in the heck? I'm like, if I could do that, I would have probably already done that. Does this beautiful young woman deserve a brand new RV? Absolutely she does. But it's just not in the cards for us right now. So for people to go, yeah, just go buy a new one. I'm like, okay, wait a minute. So, and Mark Fitzroy and I talked about this so much. I'm like, okay.
I think Mark is the one that put it real into perspective. He was just like, do the math.
Yeah, he's like, do the math. This thing is worth $25,000 if it's running, right? And with no engine in it, it's worth this much. It's literally worth zero. So I'm like, okay, so even if I have to spend $15,000 for a motor or $20,000. I'm like, at least now it's worth 25. But I'm like, to go buy a $60,000 motorhome, which is the cheapest that you're going to get that matches this, like a 34-foot Class A that's a 2016-ish, something like that. Minimum was 60, and we saw, most of them are going to be 80K. I'm like, how do you justify spending 80 grand over spending? At the time, we knew it was going to be 8 to 10,000, which is probably going to be whereabouts where we are. It just didn't make sense. I was just like, no, buying a new one doesn't make sense financially. Again, if you've got the money to do it, absolutely. Diesel pusher, baby. But
I don't think you will ever go to this.
No, I would, because
really?
I can carry all my kite gear.
Because we have always had that debate. Always. Our next one was, I want a diesel. Paul is like, why?
Well, but now I'm starting to go, like, I can't fit my paramotor in this.
Okay, I have to say, most of the basement, it's just with Paul stuff. I'm not joking. I think the only thing that is mine or ours, not even mine, ours, is the kayak. The kayak, paddleboard. And the paddleboard.
Yeah.
What else? I just sold my rollerblades.
Yeah, you had your rollerblades in there, but you just sold them. So now we can't go rollerblading anymore.
We haven't used them in 8 years. I don't think we're gonna.
Your golf club? No, your golf clubs aren't there anymore. They're at your mom's place.
No, yeah, they're back in Los Barillas.
They're back in Los Barillas. What else do you have in there?
I know one thing that is mine, but I'm not gonna say it.
The Traeger.
Yes.
Well, that's ours. Lori got an amazing deal on a Traeger grill. I know Kevin's a Traeger guy.
I was not familiar with Traeger until Kevin. And I remember I think it was the last trip that we did when he had a Traeger. And we will do the burgers there and the veggies there. And they were so delicious. It just gives a different taste to it, right? The smoking. It's just so delicious. I always got it in my head. It's like, one day. And all of a sudden, we are walking through this store in Los Barillas that their specialties, secondhand furniture, secondhand. Everyone in Los Barillas knows this store. But once in a while, they will have new stuff. New in their package and mint and everything stuff. Where they get this stuff, I have no idea. I don't want to know. But I saw that Traeger. We came with all the kit, all the things, the bag to carry with, all the things inside, everything, for $170 or something like that.
Yeah. And
online in Amazon US, you could get the same one for $400. So I was like, no brainer. This is it. So I got it, and I told Paul, it's something we're gonna use because we're gonna cook in it. So it's like, that's my one thing. And like Paul says, sour because he eats from there too.
Yeah, because I eat from there too.
But everything else, it's Paul stuff.
Amazing veggie grilling and fish grilling on that Traeger. It's just, it's great.
Mm-hmm.
It's great. Oh, you have a snorkel mask under there and fins.
I know. I get my eyes. You know, like the women eyes, the wife eyes. Like, oh. I get them.
There's tools under there. I have to have tools under there.
Uh-huh.
And thank you, Fred and Lynn, for joining. Thank you so much. I just saw on there, Brian, the join button. I think it's under a video. I would have to be looking at YouTube, but when you're watching a video, it should be underneath the video. There should be a join button there. Once I jump off of here, I'll shoot you a message. Bye, Karen. Karen Polanski's leaving.
Oh, bye. But yes, everything on there is Paul. So now he's open to the diesel pusher idea because he wants even more stuff.
Well, I'd like to get a paramotor.
That's not going to happen.
Lori wants me to take up a sport that's more reasonable cost, like pickleball. And we already have pickleball paddles, and I don't play pickleball. But she prefers that I don't do anything that costs $1,000 anymore. Like kiting was pretty expensive.
Still expensive.
No, I haven't spent any money on kiting.
He has not.
Since the beginning.
But usually it's equipment you have to renovate once in a while.
Yeah,
because it just breaks down. But he's not at that stage right now.
Oh, and now
right now
everything is going into the RV.
Paying for that motor and everything, I'm trying to sell everything.
Yeah.
Even Paul's booty, I'm trying to sell.
She's going to try and sell me on a street corner if necessary.
Kevin, where is the guitar?
My guitar is in my closet where it's been for
8 years.
8 years. Yeah.
He only took it, I think, once or twice, if that.
I tell myself I want to learn to play the guitar so I can sit around a campfire and play, but nobody wants to hear me sing. No one wants to hear my voice for 2 hours around a campfire.
Pull on the pole.
Paul
on the wall.
Paul on the wall. Paul on the pole. That's pretty much what I'm going to have to be. I'm going to have to get one of those shirts that says, support Paul on the pole.
On OnlyFans.
Yeah, exactly.
Channel for that.
I'm gonna have to send Kevin the picture I sent you when you sent me the picture of your feet at the beach, and I sent you a picture of my feet out here overlooking the wrecking yard.
It's just because he refuses to go back to Los Varela even for a day.
Because
and I went there for a couple of days to visit my mom and visit the pets and that. So anyway, I just show Paul like my feet with the ocean on the back and the sand because I know he loves the ocean, and I was like kind of like see if he will kind of like incentive him to go over there. And instead he just sent me back another picture of his feet with all the yard here, with all the cars and everything, all the
basket weaving. Yeah, I need to do that, Brian. I need to do something.
Yeah, tennis. Pickleball, just a racket and a ball.
Kevin says I can just play with my pickle and not worry about pickleball.
That's such a boy comment right there. What can I say? Paul sings, surprisingly enough, he sings good.
Bill Lasling, wow, there's a blast from the past. That is a guy that, let me see, we were friends probably, I don't know when I left there, but we met when we were probably 6 years old, 8 years old.
Wow.
That guy was one of the most badass golfers I ever met in my life.
Nice.
His dad owned the golf course up the road from where we grew up, and my mom worked for them. And
you will practice with him.
Yeah, we go play golf all the time. And when he would go out and hit a golf ball, people would watch him hit the golf ball because he could just crush it at, I don't know, 10 or 12 years old. He'd just absolutely smoke a golf ball. I don't know, Bill, how many hole-in-ones have you had? Like a hole-in-one is like an incredibly difficult thing for people. I think this guy's had he had 6 or 7 by the time we were like 16 years old. It was annoying as hell. I still have yet to have one. But yeah, he was a badass.
See, Mark Fitzroy, your mom is here. Put your pickle away. But like I said, Paul actually can sing well. It's like he doesn't like to sing in public. He only sings in the house. And only one time in public, we were in Las Vegas, and it was guitars.
It was rock band.
Rock band.
They had a rock band night at one of the hotels.
But includes the singing in public. So, and he did. I think he was great.
I did an AC/DC song. It was the hardest thing I'd ever had to do. I don't mind speaking in public. I can get up on a stage in front of people and talk. Singing, holy smoke, it's tough. Look at that, 7 holes in one, guys. So all of you
Wow.
golfers out there, I want you to send hateful comments to Bill Lasseline right now. That is just awful. That is just awful. That's amazing,
he's done
dude.
it, he deserves it.
Oh,
So,
yeah,
obviously.
he's a badass. He is an
Yeah.
absolute badass. Thank you, Skip and Sue. Appreciate you.
Bye, Fred and Lynn.
Bye, Fred and Lynn.
I know they're about this time that they're gonna go on the road full time.
Yep.
Oh my God, so excited for you guys.
Yep.
And I was just gonna say, you and Mark Fitzroy could probably play the guitar and sing, but I don't think you're at the same level because Mark,
Fitzroy he's a badass and he's got a great voice. Both him and Lisa.
He's shy too. He's shy in public, so he needs to get
Mark's
out there
not
more.
shy.
He's shy
in public, maybe a little bit more, but he's a badass. He
I
can
have
sing.
a little bird called Lisa that tells me he sings great and plays great, but he's shy. He doesn't like to do it in public, so he needs to do it more.
Yep, absolutely. Well, gang, we've been on here 2 hours. That's crazy.
Yeah, I think we need to go because also we still have to go to a party of the owner of the shop.
Yes.
And so we need to go.
We need to go support or show him.
Say hello. And
support.
It's not
sing
around the corner. It's so
Feliz
well away.
cumpleaños.
Paul is going to be the token gringo.
I'm going to be the token gringo at this
Mexican party.
Yep.
Where I think nobody, if I'm honest with you, I don't think there's anybody who speaks English.
Arlette, the daughter, speaks a little bit.
Really?
A little
yeah,
bit.
You told me about
little bit
it.
English.
You told me about
yep.
it.
But
so yeah, so that's gonna be fun. We should record it, but I think it will be not very nice to be with the camera on people's faces over there.
Whack a piñata. Yeah, I won't get to do that. That's for the birthday boy, and he's like 55, so I doubt he's going to be doing a piñata.
I think he's 55. I think he's 45.
He really?
Yeah, he's younger.
He's a younger guy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Buenas noches, amigos.
Buenas noches.
Thank you so much. You guys are absolutely freaking amazing. Thank you so much for everything. And we'll see you in future videos, and we'll see you on Facebook and Instagram and all the stuffs, all the socials.
Just quick, before you go, where are you headed if you ever go to the States? Where there is cool weather, the closest mountains, don't know where exactly, but that will be the place.
Yeah, like southwestern U.S. is where we're going.
Yeah, somewhere there.
So if Imperial RVing is the Imperial Valley, yeah, we're going to be in the Imperial Valley in the southwest area and that.
Okay.
See you in July. Oh, that's cruel. That is cruel, Annie.
You might be right.
Later, guys. Bye.
Bye, guys.
And we are out.
And